What we have found is that within the SNAP program, there is a way for certain states to apply for programs that allow those SNAP dollars to go to fast food restaurants. There are currently 9 states that allow that. And what we have found is in just the last 2 years, taxpayer dollars going into SNAP, those SNAP dollars of the amount of $524 million was spent on fast food. We know that we have health issues across the board here in the United States of America. Those SNAP dollars, and I'll remind everybody that the N in SNAP stands for nutrition, should not be going to fast food.
Don't you just love when everything comes together? This is a beautiful moment for me. I'm not sure how you guys feel, but for me, allow me to be selfish for just a moment. For me, this is a beautiful moment. Because for over the last month, I've been doing everything I can to ring the alarm about the issues with the SNAP benefits program, EBT, food stamps, whatever you want to call it. I've been using my platform for over a month now to call this stuff out, to ring the alarm, to try to make people more aware of these issues. And of course, I've had support and I've had pushback. One of the main things I got pushback on is the fact that I was telling people that, hey, you can use your EBT and your food stamps at all kinds of restaurants. People were under the impression that you had to buy like cold food at the grocery store, and that's all you could get with your EBT. But that could not be further from the truth. So I've been trying to let people know that, hey, people are going to fast food restaurants using their EBT. People are going to regular restaurants using their EBT. People are ordering electronic devices off of Amazon and stuff using their EBT. Stores like Walmart and Target, they have all kinds of items that are not food that you can use your EBT on. Plus, when you're on food stamps, you get all of these hidden benefits that they try to hide from a regular, people who actually work for a living, because they don't want you to know how easy these welfare EBT queens have it. There's so many perks, so many benefits. It's basically a free ride on life. Speaking about free rides, you literally get free rides, you get free delivery services, you get free memberships to like Costco, Sam's, all types of stuff. It's crazy. But I got so much pushback when I was trying to tell people about how people are using their food stamps at fast food restaurants and what have you. I would always get these responses. Well, technically, Cinema, you see that's not entirely true after all. You see, you're spreading misinformation here, Cinema. You see, food stamps cannot be used at McDonald's. Food stamps must be used on certain food items only. You cannot use your food stamps at the fast food restaurants like you claim, right? I get all of those kind of replies because people do not fully understand the problem. You see, not only are people allowed to use their food stamps to shop or buy fast food, this has been going on for decades. In the year 2025, 99% of Americans who are not on food stamps have no idea what's really going on. 99% of Americans believe that food stamps can only be used on certain items and they cannot be used at restaurants and fast food restaurants. The only problem is food stamps have been used at restaurants and fast food restaurants since like the 80s, since like 1977. This is a problem that has been going on for decades, but most Americans have no clue. Most Americans have no clue that millions, not millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars are being used every year so ghetto fat EBT queens can eat at McDonald's and other fast food restaurants with the kids that they have no business having for free. You probably cannot afford to feed you and your family at half of these fast food restaurants anymore, because now it's just as expensive to eat Chick-fil-A or something as it is to go sit down at a nice restaurant. You probably can't afford to eat these places. But the EBT queens, who absolutely do nothing with themselves, who only exist to inconvenience you, they're in the food line, they're in the drive-through lines every day getting their free fast food. That's the reality. And I'm glad that all of this drama is going on. I'm glad that the government shutdown happened, because now finally we're having these conversations. Finally we're having these conversations. But I have an article here that I want to read for you all, just so you can get a better understanding of how bad this stuff is. Before I dive into the article, though, please do me a favor. Simply hit that like button. It takes 1 second. It's totally free. If you're watching the video, I'm assuming that you could probably, if you're not driving or something, you could probably hit that like button. Just go ahead and do that. While you're at it, drop a comment, maybe share the video on social media. If you're feeling generous during the holiday season, I actually have to pay for my own food. If you would like to donate to the channel, you could donate via Cash App or Super Thanks. Always greatly appreciated. But let's go ahead and dive into this article. Blue states blasted for funneling millions in SNAP cash for fast food meals. U.S. taxpayers are footing nearly $250 million a year in SNAP benefits spent on fast food meals across just 9 states, most of which are blue states, according to Iowa Senator Joni Ernst. 9 states, including Arizona, California, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New York, Rhode Island, and Virginia, are all of which are Democrat-run states except for Virginia, are opted into a SNAP program called the Restaurant Meals Program, which has spent nearly $250 million a year on hot meals, including fast food. The modern-day SNAP program was established in 1964 under the Food Stamps Act to provide basic food needs such as meats and fruits and vegetables to financially vulnerable Americans. Hot foods, or foods ready for immediate consumption, were not eligible for purchase under the program, as its main mission was to provide staple foods to be prepared at home. A 1977 loophole, however, allowed states to opt into a program called the Restaurant Meals Program, which was established to allow homeless individuals who do not have a kitchen to purchase prepared meals using SNAP benefits. The eligibility for the program expanded in the following years to include disabled individuals, the elderly, and their spouses, according to the office. 9 states are opted into the program, which requires participating restaurants to sign an agreement with the state that is then authorized by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which oversees the SNAP program. Restaurants that participate in the program were historically a small group, but have since expanded, most notably in California in the Biden era. California expanded its program statewide. For example, in 2021, they allowed restaurants to accept CalFresh benefits via SNAP at a swath of top fast food chains stretching from McDonald's to Domino's Pizza to Jack in the Box. Ernst's office found that from June 2023 to May 2025, more than $475 million in taxpayer dollars funded Restaurant Meals Program meals at fast food establishments. During that same time period, $524 million in taxpayer funds were spent through the Restaurant Meals Program overall, meaning California accounted for more than 90% of the nation's total Restaurant Meals Program funds from June 2023 to May 2025. The N in SNAP stands for nutrition, not nuggets with a side of fries. Ernst says. I wish I was McRibbing you, but $250 million per year at the drive-thru is no joke, and it is a serious waste of tax dollars. I hate to be the one to say, "Excuse me," but something needs to be done, because taxpayers are not McLoving it. The data found that between June 2023 and May 2025, $41.4 million funds went through restaurant meal programs in Arizona, $3.6 million in New York, $1.3 million in Michigan, $995,000 in Rhode Island, $649,000 in Massachusetts, $479,000 in Illinois, and $308,000 in Virginia, and $8,600 in Maryland. Ernst introduced legislation Thursday dubbed the Excuse Me Act to rein in the scope of the restaurant meals program. Specifically, the bill would continue allowing homeless, elderly, and disabled individuals to continue using the program, but ending spousal eligibility. The legislation also would reel in which vendors are able to participate in the program, specifically restricting fast food vendors in favor of grocery stores that have hot bars to better ensure availability of healthily prepared food options. The legislation would also require states to produce public annual reports showing how many vendors participate in the restaurant meals program, the number of participating beneficiaries, and total cost of the program. The report and legislation comes after the U.S. government just emerged from the longest government shutdown in history at 43 days that included putting the food assistance program under heightened scrutiny over fraud and concern as recipients saw disruptions to their access. Upon the reopening of the government, the Trump administration is requiring all SNAP beneficiaries to reapply for the program in an effort to prevent fraud. Isn't it funny how these things go? Isn't it funny how these things work out? It's crazy how fast things change, right? If you've been watching my channel, then you already know. Just a couple of weeks ago, this was considered a racist myth, right? This was considered a racist conspiracy theory, claiming that someone or that people are using their EBT to buy fast food. People acted as if that was a crazy concept. And if you suggested it or you pointed out that it was happening, people would get angry. Here we are a couple of weeks later, and not only do we find out that this is happening, but we find out that it's way worse than we thought. And now, I already knew that this was happening. I already knew for a 100% fact that this was happening. Folks, you could go to your local fast food restaurants. They literally have signs on the window now saying that they accept EBT at a lot of them. But they want us to deny reality. They want us to deny what we see with our own eyes, what we hear with our own ears. They want us to deny this stuff, right? Deny reality, or else you'll be accused of being racist, or you're a bad person. You don't care about people less fortunate. It's always something. There's always some sort of narrative. But yeah, a couple of weeks ago, oh my God, you couldn't say that this was true. Now, 2 weeks later, oh, well, it turns out it's true. Not only is it true, but yeah, over the last year or so, we spent over $500 million giving fat, overweight EBT queens free McDonald's. Sorry, turns out it was true. And folks, this is just data from 9 different states. And here's where I have a huge problem. I understand that these 9 states that they listed, they have a certain program that allows people to buy stuff with EBT at fast food restaurants. Folks, this is happening all over the place. There are, and I laid this out in a past video, maybe you should go watch my past videos. There are all kinds of different programs. Sure, one program says, hey, if you're disabled over the age of 60 and you can't work, you can't walk, we'll give you free food. One program says, hey, if you're homeless, you don't have a kitchen to actually cook, will allow you to get McDonald's. But there's a program for every kind of person to where basically anyone can fall under this program. My huge problem that I have right now is they're acting as if this is just happening in 9 different states, when in reality it's happening everywhere. I don't get out to California and out west often. I don't get up north and in New York and places often. But I have a lot of friends and family down south. I do a lot of traveling down south between Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. I can tell you that in all of these places, people are using their food stamps at fast food restaurants and other restaurants. It's not a secret. It's out there in the open. Everyone knows about it. So I don't know why they're saying specifically this is only happening in blue states. I understand that they want to make it look like, oh, this is only an issue happening where Democrats, rule over, like this is only happening in the blue states. And yeah, I understand that, a lot of these problems are in blue states, but the problems are in red states too. And I don't want certain politicians to think that they can sneak away from this being their problem too, because this is not just an issue that we're dealing with in California. And I'm not someone who's a big fan of the Democrats, and I'm sure you guys know that. But the reality is, there are politicians on both sides of the aisle that are benefiting from this SNAP stuff. Okay? And to act as if it's only 9 different states that are allowing people to use their EBT at fast food, that's just not true. Because it's happening everywhere. And if it's not happening under one program, then there's another program, or there's another program. They have so many programs out there, and most people who actually work for a living are unaware of these programs. But if you're a welfare EBT queen, you will be made aware of these programs, one way or the other. Okay, they'll make sure that you get a free ride through life. But yeah, I'm just glad to see that these issues that I've been pointing out are finally coming to light, and it looks like something's being done about it. As I just laid out, I think that the problem is way bigger than what they've acknowledged so far, but we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere here. So I'm hoping to see some drastic changes and some moves being made going forward, because there's no way that we can continue just pumping so much money into these programs. And the only thing we're doing is we're creating people who are dependent on the government. We're creating criminals. Because as soon as you even mention the possibility of taking any of these benefits away, they automatically resort to violence, resort to threatening people and what have you. So it's not like we're helping out the best of our society here. In many cases, we're helping out the worst in our society. And we're giving people from all over the world a reason, hey, just come here and you can just live for free. Come here and collect all of these benefits. And if you think the fast food stuff is bad, wait until you find out that there are more illegal immigrants getting food stamps than actual American citizens. Yeah, folks, it's bad. But for now, I want to hear from you guys, though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.